Welcome to Cost Saver Conversations. I'm Angela, and I ask the practical questions so you can quickly understand what matters. Today, I'm joined by Assad.
Hi, Angela. We are unpacking avoid costly mistakes when choosing your UK house survey level, a clear decision framework today, and tying it back to the wider cost saver ecosystem, including tools like House Survey Level Decision Tool, so you can turn insights into action quickly.
Just a heads up before we dive in, we are your synthetic hosts. We are great with numbers, but as AI, we can sometimes be confidently wrong. Think of us as the digital versions of your most knowledgeable, slightly caffeinated friends.
Exactly. Treat this chat as a smart estimate only, not as professional financial guidance. Always check important details with official sources or a qualified expert before making any big decisions.
Welcome back, everyone. So, today we're getting into something that, honestly, I think this is one of those topics that sounds a bit dry on the surface, but it can literally save you thousands of pounds. We're talking about choosing the right house survey level when you're buying in the UK. Assad, you've seen people get this wrong quite a lot, haven't you?
Oh, all the time. I mean, it's probably one of the most expensive mistakes a UK buyer can make, and it's also one of the most avoidable, which is the frustrating part.
So, when you say expensive, like, how bad are we actually talking?
Okay, so there was a study, 2021, by Go Compare and the Homeowners Alliance, and they found that about 1 in 5 home buyers who didn't commission a proper survey later discovered faults that would have been picked up, and the average repair bill was nearly $5,750.
Wait, 1 in 5? That's a lot of people.
Yeah, and think about who's most affected, right? First-time buyers. That $5,750, for many of them, that's their entire emergency fund, gone, before they've even unpacked the kettle.
Before the kettle's out the box. That's grim. And I suppose the temptation is you're already hemorrhaging money on the deposits, solicitor's fees, stamp duty.
Exactly. So you look at the survey and think, can I save 300 quid here? And I get it, I genuinely do. But the gap between a basic survey and a thorough one is usually a few $100s. The gap between catching a defect and missing
5 figures.
can run into 5 figures, yeah. So it's not really a question of how much do I want to spend on a survey, it's how much risk am I comfortable carrying for the next 20 years. Does that make sense?
It does. It kind of reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? Now, before we get into the different levels, I want to flag something because I think a lot of people, and I'll be honest, I think I might have been one of them at one point, confuse a mortgage valuation with a survey.
Oh, this is a huge one, huge. A mortgage valuation is not a survey, full stop. Your lender's valuation exists purely to confirm the property is worth what they're lending against. That's it. It does not check for damp, subsidence, dodgy wiring, a roof that's about to fail, none of that. It might be a 15-minute walkthrough, sometimes it's done remotely from photographs.
From photographs.
Yeah, so, thousands of buyers every year still think, oh, the bank checked it, it must be fine. And then they get the keys and, surprise.
Oh, that's actually terrifying. Okay, so let's get into the proper surveys then. The RICS levels. Break it down for us.
Right. So RICS, Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, they set the standard framework for residential surveys in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Scotland's different, we can come back to that. But under RICS, there are 3 levels.
Okay, hit me with level 1.
So level 1 is the RICS Home Survey Condition Report. Most basic option, typically costs between 300 and 500 pounds. It uses a simple traffic light system, green, amber, red, to flag urgent issues, but it contains no advice and no valuation.
So it tells you something's wrong, but not what to do about it.
Exactly. Think of it as a health check, not a diagnosis. It's best suited to brand new homes, modern flats in good condition, properties built in the last sort of 20 to 30 years where there are no obvious concerns. If you're buying a shiny new build, level 1 is probably fine.
Fair enough. And level 2?
Level 2 is the home buyer report. This is it's the middle ground, and honestly, it's the most commonly chosen option for typical UK homes, usually between 400 and 900 pounds. comes in two flavors, survey only or survey plus valuation. The surveyor inspects the roof, walls, floors, windows, services, grounds, everything visible and accessible, and gives you actual advice on defects that might affect the property's value.
So that's the one most people end up going for?
For most conventional houses and flats built after about 1930 in reasonable condition, yeah, level 2 is usually the right call.
Go on then, level 3.
Level 3, Rick's Building Survey, used to be called the Full Structural Survey. This is the big one, most comprehensive, detailed, top-to-bottom inspection. Costs between £600 and £1,500, sometimes more for larger or unusual properties. The surveyor's looking at construction, materials, defects, repair options, likely costs. They'll lift loft hatches, check inside cupboards, look behind furniture where possible.
Really getting in there.
Yeah, properly diagnostic. And this is the one for older properties, listed buildings, anything with unusual construction, timber frame, thatched roof, cob walls, concrete prefabs, properties that have been heavily altered, or if you're planning a big renovation.
Okay, so I'm already sort of seeing a pattern. Older, weirder, more complex, go higher. But is there like a structured way to decide? Because I imagine people are sitting there going, well, my house is kind of old, but not that old.
Yeah, the gray area. So there is a framework, and the biggest single factor is age. Let me walk through it. Built after 2000, good condition, level 1 may suffice. Built 1945 to 2000, conventional construction, level 2 is usually right. Built 1900 to 1945, level 2 minimum, level 3 if there are any concerns. Built before 1900, level 3 strongly recommended. And a listed building of any age, level 3 essential.
That's actually really clear. What about construction type, though? Because not everything's your standard brick semi, is it?
No, and this is where people sometimes get caught out. Standard cavity wall brick, fine, any level appropriate to age. But solid wall construction, which is typically pre-1920s, level 2 minimum. Timber frame, level 3 recommended. Steel frame or concrete prefab, level 3 essential. Thatched roof, level 3 with a thatch specialist. Cob, clunch, other traditional materials.
Sorry, clunch? What on earth is clunch?
It's a type of chalky limestone. You see it in some East Anglian buildings. But yeah, anything like that, level 3 with the relevant specialism. And here's the thing people don't think about. 9 standard construction can affect your ability to get a mortgage at all, and it definitely affects future resale. So the survey isn't just a defect check, it's also intelligence on how easy this home will be to sell when your circumstances change.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it like that at all. That's actually, yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, it sort of shifts the whole perspective, doesn't it?
It does. What about when you walk into a place and something just feels off? Like you can see cracks or there's a musty smell?
Trust that instinct. Cracks in walls, internal or external, that's a level 3 trigger. Damp patches, musty smells, peeling wallpaper, level 3. Sloping floors, sticking doors, bold walls, level 3. Fresh paintwork that seems to be hiding something, upgrade your survey level. Property's been empty for over 6 months, level 3, because of neglect risk. Even recent extensions or major alterations, level 3, to verify the quality of the work.
Right. And if someone's planning to, I don't know, knock through walls or do a big extension themselves.
Level 3, regardless of the property's age. You need that detailed analysis before you start knocking things about. Plus potentially specialist reports on top.
Okay, so we've covered the levels, we've covered how to choose. Let's talk about the mistakes. Because I'm guessing beyond the mortgage valuation thing, there are some real clangers people make.
Oh yeah, so aside from the valuation confusion, a big one is trusting the seller's honesty over getting a survey. And I want to be clear, sellers don't usually lie. They just don't know what they don't know. The previous owners might have papered over rising damp 20 years ago. A roof leak might only show in horizontal rain. Subsidence can creep along for decades. None of that is in the seller's head, so none of it goes on the property information form.
That's a fair point. You can't blame them for not knowing about something buried in the walls.
Exactly. And then there's choosing a survey on price alone. This one drives me a bit mad, honestly. Survey quality varies enormously between firms. A cheap level 3 from a surveyor who spent 90 minutes on site and copy-pasted boilerplate text, that's worse than a well-conducted level 2 from someone thorough.
So, how do you tell the difference, like before you've paid?
Check qualifications, RICS or RPSA, read reviews. Ask how long they'll spend on site. And this is the pro tip. Ask for a sample report before booking. The quality difference between firms can be huge. A $700 level 2 from a thorough surveyor often beats a $900 one from a tick box operation.
Fair enough. That's good to know. What about after the survey comes back? Do people budget for what comes next?
Often not, and that's mistake number 4. A general surveyor flags concerns, but they're not qualified to diagnose every issue in depth. So if your survey identifies possible damp, electrical concerns, suspected subsidence, roof problems, you might need follow-up specialist reports. A damp and timber specialist, that's sort of 150 to 400. Electrical condition report, 150 to 300. Structural engineer for cracks or movement, 300 to 800. Drainage CCTV survey, 200 to 400. Even a roofing contractor's assessment, which is often free actually.
So you need a little contingency pot on top of the survey itself.
Yeah, build it into your buying budget from the start. And then if you don't need it, great. But if you do, you're not scrambling.
Now, here's the bit I love, because all of this sounds like spending money, but you can actually use the survey findings to get money back?
Yes, this is the part that should get everyone's attention. Use any defects identified in your survey to renegotiate the purchase price. A $600 survey can pay for itself 10 times over if it gives you grounds to knock £6,000 off the asking price for a roof that needs replacing. Sellers know cracks and damp are real problems, and a written surveyor's report is the strongest negotiating card you'll ever have.
And people actually do this, like, successfully?
Roughly a third of buyers renegotiate, and most sellers will compromise rather than start the whole marketing process again from scratch. So yeah, it works.
That's brilliant. Okay, I want to bring this to life. You've got a worked example, haven't you? Sarah?
Yeah, so Sarah, first-time buyer in Birmingham, found a 3-bedroom semi built in 1935, looked to be in reasonable condition. Had a single-story rear extension added in 2008. She planned to live there long-term, just some kitchen updates. So we worked through the framework. Age, 1935, that's level 2 minimum, consider level 3. Construction, standard cavity wall, no upgrade trigger. Condition, reasonable, no obvious red flags. Extension from 2008, well-established, worth verifying but not alarming. Plans, cosmetic only, no upgrade needed.
So, level 2.
Level 2 home buyer report. Came in at £625. She asked the surveyor specifically to comment on the extension's quality and any signs of damp in the older fabric. Report came back, flagged a tired flat roof on the extension with about 2 years of life left and rising damp in the front bay.
Oh no.
But, and here's the good bit, she used those findings to negotiate £4,800 off the agreed price. Her $625 survey returned nearly 8 times its cost within a fortnight.
Wow, that speaks for itself, doesn't it?
It really does. But now contrast that with, say, an 1890 mid-terrace. Slate roof, solid walls, visible cracking around a bay window. Same buyer profile, same budget. That property screams level 3, and probably a structural engineer to follow up on those cracks. Saving $400 on the survey there could cost you $20,000 later, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah, that puts it in perspective. Quick question. Someone mentioned Scotland to me the other day. It's different up there, right?
Yeah, completely different system. In Scotland, the seller is legally required to commission a home report before marketing the property, and the buyer receives it free of charge. It contains a single survey, broadly equivalent to a RICS Level 2, plus an energy report and a property questionnaire.
Oh, interesting. So you get one for free. Can you still do your own?
You can, yeah. You can rely on the seller's home report, but if you've got concerns or it's an older property, unusual construction, listed building, paying for your own Level 3 equivalent is often money well spent, especially for anything pre-1919 or where the seller survey flags significant issues.
Good to know. All right, one more thing before we wrap up. People worry about delays, right? Will getting a survey slow everything down?
Not significantly. Most surveyors can attend within a week to 10 days. Reports are usually back within 3 to 5 working days. So a 2-week window from booking to report is normal, and that fits comfortably inside the conveyancing timeline. It's not going to hold things up.
And if the survey finds something truly awful, can you just walk away?
Yes, until contracts are exchanged, you can walk away for any reason. You'll lose your survey and conveyancing fees to date, but that's far cheaper than buying a money pit. Far cheaper.
Okay. Assad, this has been really, really useful. Can you give us the sort of quick recap? The remember this when you're lying awake at 2 a.m. panicking about your house purchase version?
Right, the 2 a.m. version. Okay, so the right survey isn't about spending as little as possible. It's about buying the right amount of information for the property and the risk in front of you. Level 1 on a 200-year-old cottage? Reckless. Level 3 on a 5-year-old new build? Wasteful. Most properties sit comfortably with a level 2, but the edges, that's where the costly mistakes happen.
And practically, what should someone do today?
Take 10 minutes. Work through the property's age, construction, condition, and your plans. Match those to the survey level that makes sense. Get 2 or 3 quotes from Rick's registered surveyors, well-reviewed ones. Budget for potential follow-up specialist reports, and honestly, don't let an estate agent talk you out of a thorough survey. They're working for the seller, not you. Polite, firm, and informed, that's the right posture.
Love that. Polite, firm, and informed. All right. Thank you so much, Assad. And to everyone listening, spending 500 to 1,500 pounds on the right survey is genuinely one of the highest return decisions you'll make during a property purchase. The peace of mind alone is worth it. The repair bills you avoid, that's the bonus. We'll see you next time. Quick side note, this guide connects with other cost saver blogs, especially ME's, Energy Performance Certificate C, and the costs landlords are sleepwalking into, council tax bans and how to avoid overpaying, and wedding cost calculator and budget mistakes guide.
Exactly. And reading those together helps you connect the dots across your household budget, not just this one topic in isolation.
And if you want to apply this immediately, jump into tools like House Survey Level Decision Tool right after this episode.
Primary sources used here include Homeowners Alliance, so you can verify the data yourself and stay evidence-led.
That wraps this cost saver conversation with Angela and Assad. If this helped, share it with someone who could put these ideas to work this week.
Your next step is simple. Try House Survey Level Decision Tool, then read ME's Energy Performance Certificate C and the costs landlords are sleepwalking into, and use them together to take action today.